Every time we played teams away, we was their cup final, and little did we know that game meant so much.
My bin men were City fans. Because I kept playing shit and we kept losing, they didn't take my rubbish away. So my neighbours hated me.
Police were calling me and I was telling them to F off. They then sent a helicopter up looking for me. I was ducking and diving in bushes.
Welcome back to Woody Unscripted. Today we have two beautiful friends of mine, ex-Man City players. That's where I know them from. They've also played for lots of other various clubs. We've got Kevin Horlock, scorer of that first goal in the 1999 epic match, and Kit Symons. Both played at Man City for a year together. Beautiful friend of mine from the old days. Ex-Man City captain, did 3 years at City. How are you, Kev? Start with you, Kev.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. Had a rough couple of years, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah. What? I mean, we spoke briefly before, but do you want to just tell the viewers what was going on for you there? If I'm honest, I probably struggled when football stopped.
Yeah.
Without really knowing. And more recently, marriage broke down. Mum passed away. So it's been difficult, and I probably didn't deal with it in the right way.
Yeah.
Ended up going to rehab, which saved my life.
Yeah.
In all honesty. And it's weird that I'm sitting here, like the way we've ended up getting back in touch is crazy, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
Not spoke for 20 years.
Unbelievable.
Obviously, Kit don't know, but I've got a lad in my team called Woody. And he was late for training. So I've texted who I thought was the player, Woody, what time you getting here? But sent it to this Woody. Mental. And obviously then Woody's rang me back. But then I thought he was ringing me back and he was the other Woody. Thinking, honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. But here we are. Isn't it? Here we are 10 days later, sitting doing a podcast.
So I seen Kevin Horlock miss call, and then he's deleted it. So then in my head, and this is no disrespect to you, Kev, I always knew Kev was a bit of a boy, likes a bevy at a party, and I thought, I wonder if he's phoning me because he's got a fucking problem, not knowing he'd been in rehab, you see, because I didn't know. Yeah. So that's what I thought it might be about. So that's when I thought, are you all right, Kev?
Yeah.
And then he went, wrong Woody. And I've gone, house tricks. And then, of course, he told me about the rehab stuff and all that. And then it was like, oh my God, so we'll come back to that.
Crazy.
And how have you been, Kit?
All right, yeah, just sort of ticking along, doing a few different things in and around football, but not directly involved at a club or anything anymore. But yes, obviously I got divorced as well, got a new partner in that now. But yeah, life's sort of ticking along, quite happy to be honest, and having a good time. Yeah,
we were talking obviously about Kev when he said he struggled when he finished playing. Did you have any of those struggles?
Not like that, because I was lucky. I sort of fell straight into coaching, managing. So there was no sort of gap. I went from being a player assistant to then stop playing and just be assistant manager. So there was no sort of gap for me. So I was lucky in that respect. Because speaking to a load of the boys, it's such a difficult time suddenly being in football and then suddenly just being out of it, and the phone stops ringing, and it's really difficult for a lot of people. So yeah, I was lucky with that one, and like now I'm sort of out of it largely through my own choice sort of thing,
Nice.
and I'm enjoying the bits and bobs that I am doing. Yeah. So it's just realising sort of where you are, and I think I'm quite good with that at this moment in time. I know what I want to do, and those are the things that I do.
Yeah. We were talking about personalities before we went on air today. We were talking about personalities. And even though, you did like a bit of a party back in the day and a bevy and a drink, you're pretty good at nipping it in the bud at a certain times, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had stages where I'm definitely not 100% drinking too much, but at City was one of them.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about. But overall, handled it all right. I mean, some people would probably say, you're drinking much too much. He's binge drink as well, was my thing. But never had what I would consider a proper problem with it, and certainly never had to go into rehab or have counselling for the drinking. But yeah, 100%. People would look at the amount. I thought if I was actually saw it all lined up, the amount you drank in a normal week back then or something, you'd be shocked, you know. But
I think it was part of the culture, though, wasn't it, back then? Don't you? Do you think that in the 90s?
Sunday club, Monday club. To be fair, I sort of ducked out of it at that stage. I didn't drink that much then, but I was a bit like Kit. I was a binge drinker. I had a young family at the time, so I ducked out a lot of the Monday clubs and suppressed it a little bit, to be fair. But obviously, I fucked it all up and made up for it in the end.
Well, we you know, I used to get married to calm myself down. It's really bad, and I'm sorry to all my wives, but that was one of my main reason was, you know, I think I need to settle down because otherwise I'm going to die, you know. So maybe you're in a similar.
Young footballers are sort of like encouraged to get married, to think that will settle you down.
Yeah.
And you know, so that's the thing in football is you know, a lot of the boys get married quite young, probably too early, really, because they're sort of pushed that way because the clubs will ever think that will be good for them.
Yeah, I was married at 21, and it probably helped me in a way because they probably thought exactly that.
Yeah,
sensible lad, he's married, got a young daughter at the time. Little did they know there was an absolute lunatic in there, suppressing it. And I was professional, you know. I tried to train properly, but I was always the joker. If there was a night out, and I wouldn't go on all of them. If there was, and I did go, I would go all in. Yeah. I'm that personality. I'm all in or nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a nutter in there, but I sort of was professional towards football. I wanted to be a footballer more than anything.
Well, you've had a long career, Kev, haven't you?
Yeah, I did all right for what tools I had. Without a shadow, people say, "Oh, you playing in the Premier League?" And I was never a Premier League player. I don't kid myself. I worked really hard, give everything, and that got me a good career in the end.
Yeah, I mean, how many games? We did actually look. Me and Sammy looked on the way up. You've had a lot of games, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't know what it must be 400, 500 maybe. I don't know.
And I think
not many good ones in there though.
So you had a lot of professional games and international games.
Yeah, you can tell by my accent. I'm Irish, Northern Ireland, international. It was through my grandparents. Both on my mum's side, parents were Irish. One from the south of Ireland, one from Northern Ireland. And I had a decision to make at Swindon. I got offered to play in, and it sounds terrible now, and I might get absolutely battered for this, but I got offered to play for the Republic of Ireland under 21s. And back in the day when there was B internationals, I don't know if you remember that, I got offered to play for Northern Ireland B international against England at Hillsborough. And in my contract, I got 10 grand for playing B international or above. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? But I thought 10 grand. Like, I was only a young lad at the time. And I didn't know what decision. Probably at the time, the Republic were a better nation in terms of they were getting to the World Cups and that, but the 10 grand was a massive pour. And I don't regret it. I had an unbelievable time playing out in Northern Ireland. They took to me like their own, and I loved every second of it, albeit we didn't win many games.
Yeah. And then Kit, obviously, with his very strong Welsh accent.
Basingstoke, which is a little village, mining village in the Rhondda, as we all know. Yeah.
Because you had a lot of games for Wales as well. I think you both had a lot of 30-odd games each,
36 I was in the end for Wales.
Yeah, I think you were similar, were you?
32, I think.
32, yeah. A lot of caps, though. 60.
No, it's brilliant. And similar to Kev, like, international football was a great experience. And again, the sort of camaraderie with the boys and that one, you get a good group, a strong group, and it's great fun. I mean, I had a brilliant time, some great moments playing for Wales.
It sort of changed. Like, I don't know if it was the same for you, but again, the drinking culture was there. Like, the lads would meet up on a Saturday night after their league, obviously their professional clubs games, and have a beer, get on the beer, and after games you'd be on the beer. I remember playing 2 internationals back to back, and we lost. And I think the headlines were, we played Turkey, we lost 3-0. It said Turkey 3, Turkey's 0. So we lost 3-0. But then we had to go to Heathrow to fly out to Spain. We were sitting in Heathrow drinking beers and playing cards, and it's mental, like, thinking about it. And it changed towards the end when I packed in playing international. I packed in earlier than I probably should have, due to a young family and that. But the drinking culture had slowly started to change. It became a little bit more professional, and but it was crazy times.
Well, I was lucky. I used to go to the Republic games because I used to go and watch Mick. They laid a coach on, excuse me, about 11:30, picked all the lads up at about 11:30, midnight, and and took them off to this nightclub into
Lily Bordello's.
No, it wasn't Liz Bordello.
Strings,
it was. I'll know it if you say it. I can't remember it.
Yeah.
And then that used to shut about 3 or 4, and then half the lads would go down to Leeson Street, which was open till 6 in the morning.
That's right, that with strings.
Them little wine bars downstairs.
Yeah.
And then a game on Saturday, and that'll be on a Thursday morning. Oh my God. When you think about it, just absolutely insane. I mean, it must go on still, mustn't it? It can't not go on.
No, I don't think it does. Nothing
do you
like.
Not think they just do
I mean,
it behind
we would say
closed doors?
Wales was very similar to Northern Ireland and Republic when it was we're almost like pub teams. Literally, the setup, the way it was back then. I mean, I remember when I first started playing, I was like Portsmouth, so I was like second tier. And so, but the Premier League or the top level boys would they'd meet up on a Thursday. Luckily, I'd have a game for Portsmouth. So I'd meet up Thursday, be drinking Thursday night, Friday night. I'd play for Portsmouth and meet up then Saturday night. So I missed a couple of nights drinking, luckily, because they used to kill me. The Saturday night was like full on. And then Sunday lunchtimes, and then they'd get their heads on for the game on Wednesday. So it was proper, but the organisation sort of wasn't there and the structure. But I think it's very different now. I know certainly Wales, having gone back in on the coaching side with Wales, is very, very different, much more professional now, and there's not the drinking culture there anymore at all.
Going back to your Portsmouth days, we were talking about you being a pretty sort of sensible guy, but I'm not mentioning any names, and they were great lads. But you knew a few colourful people in Portsmouth, didn't you, that you actually introduced me to?
Yeah, well, Pompey was brilliant. So it was great lads. I mean, I love Pompey, and it was brilliant. But it's one of these places, it's quite sort of small. It's a city, but everyone knows everyone. So, playing for the local team, if you sort of played it right, I knew like all the 657 and the lads like, and all the local businessmen, all the CID. I sort of knew everyone there. And
Tommy was a character, wasn't he?
And like I say, Tommy and Stevie Houseman, people like that were my mates, Sid Stacey, they were great people, and really sort of looked after me. I spoke to Stevie a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, bless him.
So I keep in touch with them, and they're like, just real good people.
I was out with Tommy and Steve in Portsmouth. It was like being out with the king, out with Tommy. Everybody knew. We're in the chairman's suite.
Yeah. Well, they're brilliant. They're just real, genuine, good people. But so it was a bit different for me first moving up to City. Obviously, so much bigger like Manchester. Yeah. But mixing with some colourful people, yourself being one of them up in Manchester, wasn't sort of like my first rodeo as such. So it wasn't such a great shock to the system, but.
I remember
different.
I took Tommy and Stevie into the casino I used to go in, because I used to do my brains in casinos. And I remember getting there, and they didn't like the look of Stevie. They thought he looked a bit dodgy. I think that's why they didn't let him in. Well, they told me later that was what the reason was, or somebody who worked there. But at the time I got there, and they knocked me back. They said I'd had too much to drink. Oh, and I kicked off, mate. I chucked a fire extinguisher through the window. Stevie's going, "Woody, calm down." And then they found the old bill. And then I legged it out of the casino, and the copper drove about a mile next to me at running pace. And he shouted out the window, we can drive all the way to St Michael's Avenue in Bramhall if you want, mate, or you can get in now, be a good lad, we'll make you a brew and a piece of toast. Just fucking mad, but they were great lads.
Yeah,
great lads.
Good people there.
They came up, we had a good gas up here, and down there, I loved it down there. The Liquid Lounge, that was one place.
That's it. Yeah.
It was lively. So, Kev, when you were pretty sensible when you were, because I didn't go out much with you, did I?
No, I ducked out of it. I got married at a young age to keep me on the straight and narrow, and had a family. I'd tried to be sensible, but I knew I had a madman in there. From a young age, my first drink, I know we spoke briefly on the phone, my first experience with alcohol wasn't a good one. I was with three friends, and we bought a 4-pack of Gold Label. Do you remember that? Barley, what is disgusting. And obviously there was one each and one extra. I had the one extra, being me. I wanted more. It knocked the head off me. My first ever drink, 2 cans of Gold Label, and my nickname was Kevin Toucan. And do you know what? I should have just accepted it and thought, do you know what? And I wish I'd have stayed Kevin Toucan, because obviously it escalated later on in life. But yeah, it was something that I'd always do. I'd always push boundaries and always want to push it. And then I had that spell where I was sensible. Yeah. Well, I'd seen you. You was a face. You was that face in Manchester. Like you're talking about the boys in Pompey. You was that to me when I arrived in Manchester. You was always there, full of life. Always had a drink in your hand. Yeah. But you was the main man. Like obviously the lads, Jeff and Sparky and that. Yeah. You was like part. I actually thought you was part of Man City when I first came. I thought you were something to do with the football club.
Player liaison officer,
yeah.
Taking us all out, getting smashed.
Oh yeah, not right, not really great, was it? Really, not a great role model. I mean, remember we went to Mark Stott's wine bar, and on a Christmas do once. There's a bit of shenanigans went on there, but it was good fun. And I remember. Jeff, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying this, he got a bit lively in there. This is before he stopped drinking, Jeff Whitley, and he was just coming into the first team. And I remember you said to me, "Oh, Jeff Whitley's nuts." And I thought, yeah, I just have to make Jeff my mate now. No? So I took him under my wing. I'm 37 and he's 17. It's like, oh my God.
What could possibly go wrong there?
It was nuts, Jeff. But he's done unbelievably well.
Oh, amazing.
Obviously, he was a big reason why I ended up going into rehab, which was crazy, really.
Yeah, do you want to tell that story, Kev? It's a nice story.
Yeah, it was just weird, because he was the craziest lad I've probably ever played with. And then it was Jeff that was helping me. Obviously, I'm a little bit older than Jeff as well. And I'd got into a bad place, financially struggling with the drink, drugs got involved, and I didn't want to be here anymore. That's as deep as it gets. Like I actually didn't know where I fit in the world. I'd obviously had a really good career, struggled with that coming to an end and not being part of something and involved with people, and I was probably lonely, sad, all them emotions, and I didn't want to be here. And I went to the depths where I was considering ending it. Yeah. And I feel embarrassed to say that a little bit, because it is probably selfish, because obviously I've got so much to live for in terms of I've got 5 kids, 9 grandchildren, but I didn't see a way out. And I was sat at a hotel and I was going to ring, because I knew Jeff had done really well and was sober and was helping out with the PFA, people in similar position. And I was going to ring Jeff, and I remember sitting, I was at a Holiday Inn. Obviously there's loads of other really good hotels that I could have been sat in at. But I was sat in the car park waiting for the coach to go to an away game, and I thought, well, I need to ring Jeff. And I got his number up on my phone, and I went to ring him, and then I looked up and I see the coach at the traffic lights. I thought, I'll ring him later. But that's what I was like. I was always, I'll put it off till tomorrow. Yeah. I'll ring someone tomorrow. I never did. I never wanted to. I struggled, and I didn't ring him. So I didn't. I looked up at the coach, and then as I went to get my stuff together, on my dashboard, Jeff Whitley come up. He was ringing. I thought I'd sat on my phone. I thought, I've actually, and I've answered. I went, "Hi, Jeff." I went, "Did I ring you or you ring me?" He went, "I rang you." I was like, "What?" Because I hadn't spoke to him for years.
Wow.
And he went, "How are you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?" He went, "No, you're not." And I said, "What do you mean?" He went, "Oh, obviously, someone's rang me and said, like, you're in a real bad way." And I obviously tried to deny it, denial. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Brilliant.
Because without that phone call, he wouldn't tell me who phoned him. I think I know, and I've got to be thankful to them definitely. As well. It saved me. It was. I was ready. I was ready to open up and try and get better. And I feel good now. But that moment was they talk about higher power, don't they? In rehab, and again, I didn't get that. I was like, higher power, a load of rubbish. And I thought it was all culty, and I thought they were weirdo. I told them. I told the specialists in there. I thought you were weirdos, but that was maybe a higher power moment where it happened at the right time. Yeah. I was sat in the car and I said I'd ring you later. And after the game, I rang Jeff, and he organised it for me to go into Sporting Chance, which was unbelievable for me. Yeah,
fantastic. And how long have you been clean for now then?
A year, 6 months and 24 days.
Brilliant, mate.
Yeah. I feel so much better.
Absolutely brilliant. And of course, you're now manager of a club.
Yeah. I'm at a club called Malden Tiptree. So it's nuts. Like I didn't know what to do. When I finished football, I was like, I sat at home for 2 years. I hadn't earned enough money to sit at home. I didn't know what else to do. End up coaching. It wasn't something that come natural to me. I am a people's person, but I didn't really like coaching side, but the managing side of it I liked. In the madness, I was manager of Needham Market. We ended up getting promoted to step 2, believe it or not, a little village club in mental. And it's probably my biggest achievement, but can't remember much of it because I was obviously on the booze and that. But I'm at Malden Tiptree now, and very wealthy owners. It's a couple of levels lower than where I was managing before, but it's full time and it works for me. It's an unbelievable football club now. It's on the up. But for me, it was about the time to build bridges. Obviously, I've got 5 kids. 2 don't talk to me for whatever reason and all different reasons. But it gave me time to maybe try and build bridges and give me my life back and hopefully make amends to people that I've hurt along the way.
And he knows the owner there, he knows where you've been, doesn't he?
Yeah, he knows. I was honest from day one. Obviously, everyone knows he's really wealthy. I've got an unbelievable squad that get paid really well for the level we're at. And he sort of asked me, what package do you want? And I think previous or managers that were potentially going in there were asking for big money. I weren't about the money. I don't come from money, family-wise. I've earned quite a lot of money in my career, not got nothing left. So
Join the club.
I've been on both sides of it, and it wasn't about the money for me. It was about being part of something. I think, again, I'll keep going back to it. It's something I missed from football. A project where they want to try and drive the club forward. But for me, it was about having time to myself to go to meetings, which, again, I didn't understand at first. I didn't see the benefit of them, but I do now. So I can do them now, and I can see the kids that speak to me and make amends and see my grandkids. So at the minute, it's perfect.
Brilliant.
This podcast is sponsored by Stockport Car Supermarket, and we want to buy your car. Simply text us with your reg and mileage. Once you've agreed a price, bring the car down to us, and if you live in 50 miles, we'll give you a lift home as well. If you're interested, simply give us a text on 07535 151 754. Thank you.
Well, yeah, and obviously, Kit, you were manager of Fulham for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I had a little spell. I've been assistant with Chris Coleman quite a few times. Been assistant at Wales 3 times.
Yeah.
Twice with Cookie and then once with went in with Pagey. That's been brilliant experience, obviously. And I've been with Cookie assistant to him over in China and Greece, up in Sunderland as well. Had a go as Fulham manager. I was like I did everything at Fulham. I did like the academy stuff, worked my way through the academy, under 18s, then the 21s, and then the first team. Became first team manager for a year there, which was, I really enjoyed it as an experience, but I don't it's not an ego thing with me type thing. So I'm not particularly bothered about managing again necessarily.
Yeah.
Or even going back in working at club level. I might do, but I'm not. It's like I say, I've done a lot of things now and I'm quite happy. I'm not chasing anything as such.
It's nice, that.
It's good. It's really good. It's a brilliant place to be, yeah. And I've only just got it quite recently. It's sort of understanding, where you are and what you want, and also don't do things you don't want. Realise what you don't want as well, and don't get involved in any of that.
Yeah.
So, but it's not easy to do, but when it comes to you, it's quite nice.
Yeah. And of course, you were my daughter Amy's first crush, Kit.
I was, absolutely, yeah. The lovely Amy Wood, yeah. She was about 5, wasn't she, I think?
Mate, she was desperate to see you, but then when you got there, she used to run upstairs and hide.
All shy, yeah. So I used to go, So, I mean, obviously, we used to come around the house, like me and my ex, and you and Ali and that, and yeah, she's the cutest little thing, and she's like, I was the first crush, apparently, wasn't I?
Oh, definitely, mate.
Bless her.
Definitely.
No, they're gorgeous both. I mean, Amy and Emily were both like lovely girls,
And your girls, mate.
Yeah.
It seems a long time ago now.
I know, well, it was.
Hey,
I think back, it's like, ridiculous.
It's nearly 30 years ago, isn't it?
Scary, isn't it? Where's it gone?
Where does it go? Hey.
I remember being in, when I first signed for Swindon, I'd left West Ham, been offered a contract, but went to Swindon. I was only young, like 19 or something. I remember being sat in a meeting and they got the PFA in, and it was Des Bremner. Do you remember Des Bremner?
Yeah.
So he worked for the PFA and they were talking about pensions. Like I'm this young kid that's still trying to make his way in the game. And he stood up. I knew he'd played football. And he was going, "Oh, look, lads, your career's going to be over in a blink of an eye." And I remember I could take you to the seat I was sat on in the county ground. And I remember sitting there thinking, "You're only saying it because you're an old fucker." I said, "I'm going to play forever." I thought I was going to play forever. It's mental. And in a blink of an eye.
Peter Pan, all footballers think, you sort of know, if you get to 35 and done well as a player.
Oh, very well.
But you talk to players, people can't work it out. I think we'll play forever, we'll just keep going.
Isn't the average?
But, it's not.
Once you make it through, isn't the average 8 years? I heard that. I didn't think it was probably as high as that. I think probably less than that. But I mean, let's say if you reach 35, you've done brilliant. And you're still playing. Unbelievable.
But that was the one thing I did was my pension. I'd always, and because I got divorced now, I sort of gave her everything now. Yeah. And I kept the pension, but I can't touch till March. I was 55 in March.
Yeah.
So that was the best thing I ever did do. And I did a lot of things wrong, without doubt. But that's the one thing I did right, was to put quite a bit of money away in the pension. So as long as that don't all get nicked in the next budget, but hopefully we'll be
never
be half all right.
Yeah, were you good on pensions then?
No. I was one of them. Like I said, as a kid growing up, I thought we had everything. It's not until you're older you think, "God, my mum and dad worked their absolute nuts off, like to make us comfortable." My dad was an electrician. My mum was a hairdresser. My dad used to take me everywhere football wise. But when I had money, I wanted to not spend it on lavish things. I wasn't flash with money, but I'd want to help people out. If we were going for a meal, I'm definitely paying. It wasn't a flash thing for me. It was to try and help people out. And I earned money and spent money. I didn't save as well as I should have. Yeah.
Would you say you had a happy childhood?
Yeah. I lived in a place called Plumstead.
Sounds nice.
Brambleberry, it sounds lovely. It's not. At the time, it was unbelievable. But Brambleberry Road, I lived on a hill, and at the top of the hill, and again, to have a career, I think you've got to have the desire to do it and some attributes. But I think sometimes it's circumstance. I lived on a hill at the top. Plumstead Common was at the top of my hill, and I used to go up there and just play football non-stop with lads that were older than me. So I had to learn to be tough. Yeah. I had to learn to get rid of the ball quicker, because I'd get kicked. And I think that helped massive. But my childhood, all I remember is playing football, being at football all the time. Played for the county and Sunday team, Saturday. It was just non-stop football. They don't do that now. The games are limited.
It was literally every day, wasn't it?
All the time,
a different team training or playing or whatever. And then when you weren't doing that, you'd kick them out with your mates.
Yeah.
It was like,
what about your childhood, Kit? Would you say happy memories?
I'm very lucky. I mean, my dad died when I was little. He passed away when I was 7. My dad, sort of mum brought me and my brother up on her own to start with, but very happy with mates and similar sort of Kev. I lived in a cul-de-sac, so all my mates were 2-3 years older than me, and all my neighbours and all that. So we'd play football out on the street, and this little pitch was the cul-de-sac at the bottom of the road. So it was on concrete, so you had to, big kids were kicking you about, you had to learn to be tough and not get knocked over because you're scraping your knees and that otherwise. So, but it all was brilliant sort of grounding and good for me then later on in my football career sort of thing. So,
sounds very posh, doesn't it? Cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing
cul-de-sac. I
didn't remember seeing cul-de-sacs in London. Very posh.
Can you remember being 7 and your dad passing? Do you have
sort of, little small sort of memories. I've only got a couple of sort of memories of him that I can clearly remember. But then there's things from, I remember he died a couple of days after Christmas, 28th of December. So
he can't have been old, can he? What age was he?
No, he was in his 40s. He had kidney failure. So we had the old dialysis machine, the porta cabin in the back garden and all that. So he was on that. He's waiting for hoping for a kidney transplant, but obviously didn't come. So
what a shame.
You'd be proud of what you've achieved then, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well,
how did you get the football in that then?
So my mum was brilliant. My mum did everything and she's rushing and flying around and didn't have a clue about football. She'd be shouting offside as we were shooting.
How many of you were there? How many kids then were there?
It was me and my brother. My brother was 4 years older than me, but he never into sort of football or sport or anything at all. And so my mum, and then she got with my stepdad then when I was I think 14, 15. And then he was really good as well. He was my five-a-side manager. And I sort of, me and his son got my mum and him together. We sort of like got him on a bit of a blind date and organised it. But yeah, he was my five-a-side manager, Brian, on a Friday night. So
are they?
No, he's dead now as well. Yeah, she's a couple off me mum. Like, yeah,
right. What a shame.
But no, he died back in 2015. My stepdad. So
yeah, your parents, Kev, there.
Yeah, my dad's still alive. My mum passed away in COVID.
Right. Yeah.
In the first lockdown, which was it was tough. It was probably something that affected me more than I probably realised at the time. I had an on-off relationship with my mum. She's quite a tough woman.
Yeah.
Quite stubborn. Clashed a few times, and wasn't actually speaking to her actually for a couple of years. I can't even remember what for. It's crazy, isn't it? You've got parents and you fall out, and you got to cherish them because you don't have them long in hindsight. And we fell out. We weren't talking. Then I got a phone call, and my sister said, "Look, you come down and see Mum." And I said, "What's going on here?" And she fell ill and felt ill. Never been to the doctors. I can never remember being ill. Like I said, didn't drink, smoked a lot. And then she sat down, or I got to their house and sat down. She said, "Look, I've got kidney cancer." And it knocked me for 6. I didn't understand at the time how serious it was. Still tried to have a little argument with me. She did. I said, "Look, Mum, I don't want to go over the past. Can we just leave it where it is? Because you'll say something, I'll say something, I'll walk out of it and I probably won't see you again." So she bit her lip, which was unusual. And I stayed there. She was dead within 4 weeks, I think.
Oh, wow.
Which was, it was tough.
Yeah, it's not easy. 7's young as well, Kit. To lose a father at a really young age.
Yeah.
You've done well, mate. Because you're a top guy, you're a beautiful man, and it could have gone the other way.
Woody. Yeah.
No, you've always meant well,
faults.
mate. You've always meant well. I just got to share this little story. When me being a manipulative git that I am, we were laughing about it. And I've done me amends, I've done 2 lots of amends to people. So I think I made an amends early on to the people around me. I think I phoned Kit and said, "Kit, I'm sorry for being a bad influence on nearly everybody that I was in their lives. I was encouraging them to drink loads and party loads and behave probably not appropriately." So I did all those amends. They were quite easy, but then I got a new sponsor and I went through the other amends and I got more onto manipulation and, me being this football groupie person. I always needed a mate who was playing at City. And I remember I was losing a few of my friends. They were leaving. And then I seen that they'd signed Kit, and I'm reading about him and he's this handsome 6'2" centre half coming from Portsmouth. And I remember thinking, right, I'm going to make him my next best friend. So I think it was his debut. Well, it was your debut, I think. It was his debut. It was his debut. So I thought, right, I've got to try and impress him a little bit here. So I'll take Norman Whiteside with me to the match because that'll usually do the trick because he was pretty a bit of a star. Norman was my mate. "Norman, do you fancy it?" And I love you, Norman, but anything for a drink, and we'd go and we'd obviously. So we were in the players' lounge after. I was just waiting for Kit to come into the players' lounge. Here he is. So I bombed over to him. "Hey, Kit, well played today. Let me get you a pint." "I'm with Norman. Do you want to come and join us?" Anyway, long and short is by the end of the evening, I was out with Norman and Julie, his missus at the time, me and Ali, and you and your missus, and I did me number on him. So when I phoned him, to make this amends for manipulating him, you can remember what you said?
I can't remember what I said, but I probably said I knew what you were doing and I was quite happy with it, mate, to be honest with you.
You actually said, "Look, mate, I knew what you were doing from day one." He said, "Best 3 years of my life."
Yeah. Well, that's how I come from Portsmouth where I knew everyone. So I knew what it was all about. And
thing is, though, when you come to a new club, you want someone like that, don't
exactly.
you?
Brilliant for me.
It's difficult, yeah.
But I realised after how I used to do that all the time. It was like women in
You didn't do it to me, mate. He must have. Is it because I'm not 6'2"?
I don't know why I didn't do it with you, Kev.
Yeah, you didn't, no.
I think you probably made it pretty clear that you'd stayed in with your missus a lot.
Yeah, I probably did, yeah.
Yeah. So I stayed in quite a lot with my missus, believe it or not. But when City were at home, I just took that was the, or City were away.
Green light.
Yeah. Or there was a stag do. Or there was something else going on. Yeah, or there was something else going on. You know what I mean? But, it's funny, when I phoned Kit and before and we were talking about yourself, Kevin, you were telling me about like you knew about the wheelchair incident, didn't you, with Kev on his international debut, and we would like...
we had like Tommy, Tommy Wright obviously was
Yeah.
my next door neighbour, wasn't he, when I was at
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
Me and Tommy used to drive in
What a lad.
together. A brilliant Tom,
Yeah.
absolutely top guy. And yes, in football stories, everyone knows.
Yeah, scared. There's a few stories about me, and sometimes I forgot.
that was your debut, wasn't it?
I
Do you
forgot a lot of them, but I bump into people over the years, and they go, "Oh, someone was telling me stories about you." I think, "Oh shit!" Like, the wheelchair one was, one that's probably going to stick with me for a while. My debut for Northern Ireland, Latvia away of all places, massive for me to be playing. Obviously, starting my first international game, we won 1-0. Which didn't happen every day. And I played really well. As footballers, if you've played crap or you've played well. I played really well. And I thought I was the kiddie, didn't I? So we've ended up going out in these bars, girls showing attention. Like, I think, God, this is unbelievable, this international.
How old were you then, Kev?
What would I have been? I'd have been 20 maybe.
All right.
But I thought I was the kiddie, like getting a bit of attention. And all the lads, to be fair play to them, they stitched me right up. I'm thinking everyone's drinking brandy and coke. So they go, "No, we've won 1-0, brandy and coke. Yeah, your debut brandy." We're all necking these. I'm the only one with brandy in, aren't I? They're all drinking coke. So all lining up. I'm naive to it. I've ended up poleaxed, like getting back to the hotel. There was a nightmare. So I was with a lad called, do you remember Colin Hill? Played for, I think he come through Arsenal, Luton, I think. Most sensible man. They roomed me with him probably because I was the youngest lad in the squad and he was the most sensible. He's one of them that would read like the Independent. Like, who reads the Independent? Like, nothing against people that do. Obviously, I think he might be, but he was like, I think, God, they're businessmen, they're clever. But he used to sit and read the Independent. So I've ended up back at the room. I can't remember getting back to the room. I've woke up in the morning. We're going home the next morning. Everyone's there, like all the direct, everyone. I've woke up. Hilly's in the next bed. As I've gone to get out of the bed, I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous, me even saying it now. I couldn't see where the floor was. Right, so I'm trying to get to the bathroom because I'm going to spew up, but I couldn't see when my foot was going to plant on the floor. So I'm like that, and Hilly's looked up and thought, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I'm not well, mate." So he's ended up getting me back in the bed. He's ended up getting the doctor. They're trying to put a drip on me. I'm in a right mess. So I've gone down to the hotel foyer. We're leaving. I'm green. I'm as green as this. I'm ill. The lads are obviously absolutely battering me, but I could hear what was going on, but I couldn't respond. Jerry Armstrong, he's a legend. He's obviously the lad that scored a goal in the World Cup against Spain. He's assistant manager. He's pushing. They've ended up getting me a wheelchair, and he's pushing me through the wheelchair to the flight. The lads have hung a red cross. Not that I didn't know at the time, but they've told me after. Red cross around my neck. So I'm dribbling onto myself. But what a disgrace, isn't it? Like,
the fact we shouldn't even be laughing, should we really? I mean, it is actually quite sad when you think about it.
Oh, it's embarrassing, yeah. I remember I got back to the airport, Heathrow, and there was a few West Ham players. I was at Swindon at the time. And the next meet up, they were laughing. They said the last time they see me, because I'd got picked up and they was waiting at the taxi rank to go past. And I'm slumped in this car, so you could see me just above the window like that. And all they see was this green face, and I just give it like wave. Yeah, it was a wheelie stuck. I was called Wheelie, yeah, from that day.
Two-cannon wheelie.
Two-cannon wheelie, yeah. It's impressive, isn't it?
So, Kit, when you left City, can you just talk us through that?
Yeah, so I signed 3-year contracts. The first year, end of the first season, we got relegated on the last day against Liverpool.
You scored?
I scored. We drew 2-2. We got relegated still.
Because we thought we'd stayed up.
That's the one where Stevie Lomas is putting his foot on the ball in the corner because we thought a draw. It was us, Southampton and Coventry on the same points, and we had to better either of their score because we had the worst goal difference. And so I equalised, make it 2-2 against Liverpool, and then we're told, like, I don't know, Borley's shouting on the pitch that a draw's enough. So Lomi's wasting time in the corner. And then Quinny was, I don't know, he was injured or suspended, but he then comes running down and said, no, we got to win. So it's chaos. No one knew what was going on. Anyway, we ended up getting relegated that day. Then the next season, Championship was sort of average. And then the third season was disaster. We ended up getting relegated again last day. Beat Stoke 5-2 away.
You were captain then, weren't you?
Well, I was captain, but I think Frank took it off me for a couple of games, and then Joe took it off me when Joe Rall came in, sort of full time, because it was just it was weighing heavy, and I was trying to do too much.
Frank Clark give it to me for a bit, and it's tough, like, because Kit was our captain, but it was a tough time. Like, fans ran out back and right. It was an horrible time, and I think I got given the captain, got injured in the first game at West Brom, so I then missed the rest of the season up until the Stoke game. But it was a tough time that one.
It was torturous. Yeah, it was really. But because I was like sort of had been made captain, I was trying to do too much, and all the cities like huge for like the supporters clubs and things like that. And because it was so tough, and so as captain, I sort of would designate players to go to different supporters dues, but I ended up doing loads myself because I thought it's not fair to send them. And I should sort of go and face the music type thing, which is like sort of self-sabotage stuff. And then I'll be doing like extra weights. And so I'd look all right on the beach, but I'm shit for football. And then take
was that your toughest time in football, do you think?
Quite easily, yeah. But I mean, even like I had my, so my bin men were City fans, my local bin men. And, because I kept playing shit and we kept losing, they didn't take my rubbish away. I had fucking piles of rubbish outside. So my neighbours hated me. And Tommy was one side. They took his rubbish away. Tommy Wright, and they wouldn't take mine. That's not fucking funny, is it?
Sorry, kid.
Them supporters things. They were tough gigs. I remember going to the big one in Prestwich. I remember it was one of the early ones, the first one I went to, and there was so many people there. And we was not good. We was not in a good place. And I'll never forget it. Someone said, oh, they've got a question for you. I think they was telling they was doing it out there. And then he went, I've got a question for you, Kev. And he went, why is the team so shit?
Kev, I was there.
And I was like,
I remember it. I was there.
And I was like, oh, how do I answer this? Like, but it was tough. But you had to face the music, didn't you? In the end, we weren't great. The worst.
Well, then the next season was actually
so the end of that season. So I got offered a new contract. My 3-year deal was up. We ended up obviously getting relegated. Offered a new contract, and then it got taken away. I just had Millie, my first one. She was born in Wivenshaw, 26th of May, and then suddenly contract got withdrawn. I was like, shit. So I had nothing else, literally at that time. So it was like, I'd had like a tough like couple of years. Nothing else lined up at all, and a contract taken away at the last minute. I was like, bloody hell. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I ended up going to Fulham. I could have gone to Sheffield United, which was like a league higher, but I ended up going down to Fulham. Chris Coleman phoned me up, and he's with Kevin Keegan and so I ended up signing for Fulham, a league lower, which was the league City were now in, for less money. But it felt the right thing to do, and it ended up being a good move. Yeah,
because that year you won the champion. You won it, didn't you?
We won the league that year at Fulham. So I remember playing City at Craven Cottage quite early on that season, and it was weird. I should have scored. I remember I think we won 3-0. I think Fulham, but I should have scored as well. And I remember thinking, well, I'm actually quite glad I missed that. So I sort of didn't want to. It would have felt really weird and like. I don't know what I would have done if I had scored against City, because I love the club, and I didn't want to leave. I was all set to sign a new contract, but it ended up being a really successful. I had 2 relegations in 3 years at City. Then went to Fulham and had 2 promotions in 3 years.
Fantastic.
So sort of balanced off. Yeah.
And that was that iconic year, of course, when we won the playoff final against Gillingham.
Yeah, crazy year that was. Yeah, crazy. Like, 'cause obviously we was the biggest club in the division. Every time we played teams away, we was their cup final. And
I think we averaged 30,000 at home.
They're putting like temporary seating up at like some Macclesfield, and I'll never forget it. We didn't start great. I think we was like 12th come Christmas.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
we had Wrexham away, and it was a corner. I took corners. It was one of the rare good ones that I took. In training, I'd be able to bend it anywhere, but on a match day, I normally hung it up for the keeper to come and catch. But on this day, I put it in the right area and Gerard Vikin scored. And we won on Boxing Day 1-0. And then we went on a run and it looked like we were just going to nick it. I think Walsall went up with you. I think they went up as runners-up, Walsall. And we ended up going in the play. Well, I say dreaded playoffs. It ended up perfect in the end. But little did we know that game meant so much. I've heard rumours saying that the club would have gone under.
Well, honestly,
so I was on the plane. We were on the league, so we flew out to Tenerife. So I remember I was literally walking out. It'd gone. Dickie scored. Like just send it to extra time. It literally just as we were walking onto the plane. So it looked like City were out, and then as I'm walking across the tarmac, so we got a shout that equalised. So. But then we landed. I didn't know what had happened. So first thing I did was obviously find out the outcome of it, and it was like obviously incredible.
It's a legendary time of City's thing, and that goal. What minute was it you scored it in, Kev? Can you remember?
My one or Dickies?
Yours.
I think mine was 90 or 89, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember the ball getting put. There was 2-0 down. Tony Pulis had took off all their forwards, so they didn't have forwards, but the ball's gone down in our defensive half near the corner flag. And I remember looking on the halfway line, the two centre halves of Gillingham were cuddling each other, jumping. I thought, oh, you twats. We got to go to Macclesfield again. We got to do this again. And then I scored. It was lucky it fell on my left. I say it all along, like people talk about my goal being forgotten, and rightly so. At the end of the day,
I don't think it's forgotten.
They talk about Dickies more. That obviously meant more, but I see it at the time as a consolation, like everyone did. I can tell my grandkids that I scored at Wembley and all that. I know that sounds really selfish and self-indulgent, but that's what I was thinking. I played at Wembley and I've scored at Wembley. But like I say, if that had fell on my right, it would have been a different story. I think I was making a run forward from a previous move because I weren't the quickest, and it just felt perfect and caught it well. And then obviously Dickie gets that goal.
Oh, mate, it was a great finish.
It was all right.
It's iconic, mate.
On my right, it'd have gone out the stand, mate. But I remember all the fans rushing back in, and you didn't miss much because when you got on the plane extra time, nothing whatsoever happened. It was mad. It was like both teams were too scared to lose. And then it went to the penalty shootout, and I've probably never been as scared in my football career.
Yeah, because you scored yours.
Oh,
and Dickie missed his.
I forgot. Remember that.
Yeah. Sorry, Dickie.
Dickie hit both posts.
It did. It hit both posts.
Because the goalie was his best man as well at the wedding. And I remember walking up, and I can see it. I've not watched it a lot, but I look ill. I knew how much weight was on our shoulders to get a result. It was at the City end as well. And look, I blag it to kids I've coached over the years, saying, I sort of, because I have a little stutter in the run-up, and I pretend that I was looking which way the keeper went. Was I fuck? And do you know what? If the keeper had gone the right way, he'd have caught it and spun it on his finger. It weren't a great penalty, but it's nerves, isn't it? It's pressure. It goes in, it's great. It's one of them, like, you're so scared of missing that you don't go in the corners, and lucky enough it went in. I missed a few later on down the line, but that was the most important thing. Mate,
2 goals in the come on, that's quality, isn't it? I mean, because that game, we were, saying earlier, if you hadn't scored, we wouldn't have gone up. And who knows what might have happened to the club? Who knows?
People say, because I've seen it on social, and I say it tongue in cheek, but when I think of that, people say, whose goal was more important, Dickie's or Aguero's to win the league? And I chirped in, I tweeted back going,
Horlocks.
But I said if I hadn't got mine, neither of them would have happened. Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Probably not.
You can go back in time, but it's quite funny.
Yeah, definitely. It must have felt great, that.
Yeah, do you know, it was crazy after, because I'd rolled my ankle late on in the game and my ankle had ballooned up, and I because we couldn't get out of the ground because there were so many City fans at Wembley, they locked us in for a bit and said, look, just wait. And then I wasn't going back on the coach, I was going back to Swindon. So I picked up a bag which I thought was mine. I was sponsored by Mizuno at the time, and I've ended up hobbling through. There was people getting off, coaches jumping on me. I ended up getting to where I was, the taxi, and going back, but I'd picked up a Gillingham player's bag, so it was a bit of a palaver. But I ended up getting back to Swindon in a place called Old Town, so you're talking 2.5 hours from Wembley, and I've gone in this Italian restaurant and I'm eating. I've turned around and there was someone sat behind me with the brother Man City Kappa tracksuit on. So I think, that's weird, isn't it? So I've tapped him on the shoulder. I went, good win today, boy, wasn't it? Like, and he was like fucking shocked because he couldn't get tickets and he couldn't get up to Manchester with his mates. So he's just sat and watched it. He was from Swindon, but a Man City fan. Bizarre. And his face, like, because he's like thinking, why would he be sat here? Like,
Mate,
it was funny.
He'll have never forgot that.
No, he bought me a couple of beers and that, and we had a bit of a laugh and that. But yeah, it was a big moment, and probably bigger now that I know how much was at stake.
Oh yeah, I mean the club. I mean, jeepers creepers.
Changed now, don't it?
Yeah.
Beyond recognition.
Hi everyone, I've started my own addiction recovery business. Everybody's welcome to a 10-minute free consultation with yours truly. The number will come up at the end on the screen. Thank you.
Remember Mike on the front door, the Scotch guy?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Scotch Mike?
Yeah.
Well, I could walk up to that front door with, who was I? I mean, I was nobody. I wasn't a director or fuck all. I wasn't anybody. I'd be suited and booted and I'd walk up and I'd just say to Mike, so if I'm with Sammy, for example, over there, I've got Sammy next to me. It's all right, Mike, Sammy's with me.
Yeah.
Not.
And he wouldn't question it.
And I just walk past.
Do you remember you did that? We went to Cheltenham that time as well. Do you remember that?
Mate, just hanging with Mike, I used to shake his hand and I'd give him a 4-pack of Viagra's. But they were Camagras from Pakistan. So I always give him them. And the way in the Cheltenham, that was great.
Cheltenham at the races.
Oh, that was class, mate.
So we just bowled up at Cheltenham and
Stevie Lomas.
5, 6 of us. Nicky.
Who was
Summerby.
Nicky Summerby. Jerry Craney.
Oh yeah, it would have been
Jerry Craney.
Anyway, so you didn't have like a lounge sorted out or proper. So we bought this. It's called the Lawn Bar, wasn't it? The Owners and Trainers.
It's
It was
like a champagne
bar, like a little tiny bar, and he walks bloke on the door and
No, Jerry Craney went first.
Owners only. And got binned off or something.
No, Jerry went up to the door and went, "We're from Man City," and the guy goes, I don't care where you're from, mate. If you haven't got a ticket, you ain't coming in. And then he came back to us, didn't he? And he went, can't get in. So, of course, I thought I'll be a bit cute here. So I had a nice red £50 note in my bin because I was good at corrupting and bunging people.
Yeah.
So I've walked up to him before he's like, fuck me off, I've gone, it's all right, mate. Just shake me hand, pal. Got a nice 50 there for you. Any chance me and the lads could come in and have a drink? Of course. No problem. But I didn't tell you that though.
So we were there all day, like, and no problem. So I met up with, I knew Johnny Reid, little jockey who won the Derby on Dr. T. So I see Reid, I said, do you want to come for a drink we're in this little bar. So the bloke on the door stopped and said, sorry, sir, members, owners and trainers. No, he's a jockey, but owners and trainers only. And then he saw me, he went, it's all right if you're with him. Like, and I'm like, he's won the Derby. And like, Woody's slipped the bloke a few quid, we're getting in this bar. The bloody...
Do you remember the wind-up we had? The Nigel Clough wind-up was class. Do you not remember it?
No, go on. What was that?
We took a lad who looked like Nigel Clough, but he wasn't Nigel Clough.
Yeah.
And we met my mate, the bookie, Mike, Big Mike, after the game. We went for a meal with him and we all got on a wind-up because he genuinely thought it was Nigel Clough. And then we start to slaughter him. Sorry, Nigel, but we were saying because he was on like $6,000 a week or whatever, we're going, and it was all a joke, You're a disgrace, Nigel. 6 bags a week. I'm a City fan. You shouldn't be on that. And then Kit was going, Woody, leave it out. Come on, Nigel, he didn't mean it. And my mate, who's a bookie, is going, you can't do that. He was going under. Oh yeah, funny. All them fucking stupid, daft banter shit. That people. I suppose it was a bit of fun, wasn't it? A bit.
I had a good laugh. Yeah.
Suppose when you get into recovery, we have to be a little bit careful of the banter because I'm very aware of it now, but I never was before.
Yeah.
So I just love ripping into people, taking the piss, not realising that actually that might really upset them. We're all laughing, thinking it's funny, but unless you're actually the real person.
How are they feeling about that?
Yeah. And now I'm like, whoa, and I see people, and I'm not knocking comedians. I'm not knocking them. People like Bernard Manning and all that. They were funny back in the day, but, people you don't know. They can be wearing a smile, can't they?
Well, you don't know, do you? That's the thing.
Don't
you just don't know what's going on.
No.
I mean, like, so I didn't know about you, Kev. Like, I knew the stories of when you played and things like that, but I didn't know. Like now, obviously, but
we've spoke briefly. Like I had imposter syndrome. Me, like going to City and that.
I had a bit of that as well.
Mate, mad.
That's really common.
But
yeah.
I remember when I first signed, like I didn't know, because I was really close with Steve McMahon, who had obviously played for City. He was my manager at Swindon, and there was quite a few clubs after me. I'd scored a few goals from midfield, and then he sort of said, look, go and speak to City. I think Birmingham had made an offer. So I just took his advice. But when I signed, I remember being what was the Mottram Hall? Mate, I had unbelievable suite, like 4-poster bed. I think, oh, here we go. Like, if I put the teletext, that's how far we're going back. and it said Horlock signs for City for, but I couldn't read how much because I didn't know how much I'd gone for. And it flicked round, so I had to wait ages for the page to come back round. And it was 1.5 million. Wow. And I thought, shit, like why are they paying that sort of money for me? Like, it scared me. And I would meet players that I'd seen on TV, and I just felt like I didn't belong. I felt like that all throughout my career. You know, the one time where I thought, do you know what? And I was buzzing, and I still am to this day. I think it was later. I think I might have still been at City, and we was playing a London team, but we stayed in a hotel in Bexley, and John Barnes had signed for Charlton, I think, Charlton Athletic at the time. And we was going down for dinner, and John Barnes, come on, legend. It's John Barnes.
Legend, yeah.
Like, it's not just his rapping, he's football. Like, he was a legend, wasn't he? And he was sat in the first table on his own, having food. Obviously, he was staying in there while he was at Charlton. And we're walking down, like, there was a group of us. I was sort of at the front. And as I walked in, I sort of looked, I was like starstruck. Fucking John Barnes, there's John fucking Barnes. Like, and he looked up, I kid you not, he looked up, he went, all right, Kev, how you doing, mate? And I was like that. I turned around thinking, he's fucking talking to me. John Barnes knew my name. And that was the first time I thought, oh my God, like, I must have done all right. Like, it was crazy. It was a crazy moment, and I never forget it. Like, John Barnes knew my name.
Do you think that part of the alcoholism with the low self-esteem with that? Man, you said you're not an alcoholic, Kit, but did you say you had that imposter syndrome?
I had it. I think imposter syndrome, definitely. I think it's, and self-doubt and all this sort of stuff. So, and it wasn't sort of talked about. I mean, it's not talked about that much these days. I think it's more so now, but
you don't want to admit it, do you?
No, well, it was almost viewed again back then. It was viewed as a sign of weakness.
Yeah,
and so you couldn't admit it, sort of thing. But
I never see it like I would never said that about you, and probably people would never say that about me.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I hid behind, and people think I'm nuts when I say this. I was always the joker, always like the one like doing silly things, and I come across as really confident, but I had self-doubt all the time. I'm quite a shy person.
Yeah.
I'm not really outspoken. Obviously, the alcohol and that helped me be even more outspoken, but a lot of it was a mask. It was a facade. Like, it weren't how I actually truly felt, which is crazy, really.
You know, when you worked a lot in the academy, didn't you? Obviously, you're now in management. Do you talk much to players about this sort of thing? Because I find it really quite interesting. Because if somebody has that, maybe their performance could be improved a little bit if they didn't have it. If they feel like that they're not maybe good enough for this team, I mean, is that anything that's covered at a football club or not?
It's not really spoken about.
Yeah. Isn't that
hardly at all?
And don't you think that's strange?
It's such. I mean, like when I did like the under-18s at Fulham, for example, is because it's such an important time then. I mean, you worked with the scholars before, so when 16 to 18 straight out of school, some of them are big lads physically, but they're still young boys mentally.
Yeah.
And it's you can have such an impression, and so that puts a bit of pressure on you as like a coach and the environment to make sure it's right and it's good and appropriate for people of that age to develop properly. So I mean, my big thing at Fulham was I was more about the behaviours and the standards, and I didn't give a shit really if they won on a Saturday, but I said you've got to have a winning mentality, and that was by how they were with the cooks and the cleaning lady or the laundry girls and stuff. You know, how their general everyday stuff was around the place.
Yeah, treating people with respect.
Yeah, it was a big part of it, but it's all, I call it all part of like having a winning mentality, doing everything right, and being a decent person and doing things in the right way. Then you obviously work hard at your football, train properly, have a laugh as well, because it's again when it's.
You've got to enjoy it, and
that's a big thing as well. So I'm not one for some people are like bang, it's got to be like like an army type thing. You've got to have a good laugh, but you can work hard and have a good laugh at the same time and then be respectful.
I struggled with that crossover because I was always a joker. And then when I went in, obviously I've not managed or coached to the level that Kit has, but I struggled with it because I was always the one being an idiot. Like when I first went into academy, it was only a non-league club, but it was a full-time job. I was the one doing the silly things like super gluing £2 coins on the floor, like watching people trying to pick it. Like I was the academy manager.
It's quite funny
that was in me, so I had to like adjust to that. And for me, I'm quite an emotional person. Like I pretend I'm brave, and I shaved my hair off, skinhead when I played, so I looked a little bit more. I'm a bit of a softie. I get emotional talk sometimes doing half-time team talks. I know that, but people have said to me since that's a strength a little bit because you're showing you're vulnerable, you're showing you care, showing empathy, and I try to do that with the players that I've got. I think I'd be right in saying that every player that's played for me would speak highly of me in terms of they would like me. Yeah. And with young players, because I remember being that young player where I was petrified of not making mistakes. So young players, when I made the jump, I was only academy manager at a non-league club, but I then become first team manager. I took 5 of the young lads who were in the youth team with me into the first team environment, and the first thing I did, one lad that was a number 10, he was unbelievable player, but would get nervous, and I said to him, I said, look, I don't care whether you're the worst player on the pitch today. So I give him his debut. I said, you're going to play the next 5 games, whatever. So I just wanted to alleviate that pressure of him. Yeah. I mean, because his strength was expressing himself and taking risks, playing balls forward and making money. It's not always going to come off. I didn't want him to think, I've got to do well today.
It's losing the fear, isn't it?
Yeah. If I don't do well today, I'm not going to. So I said, you're going to play the next 5 games. He ended up getting a move to Ipswich from a non-league club.
Fantastic.
I'm not saying that helped, but taking that fear away from young players in a industry that is all about results is quite difficult. It's a balancing act for kids, I think.
You know, I don't know whether I'm not, you know, I've got such faith in recovery. And when people get into recovery, and like you're like 18 months into recovery, and you're like 52 now.
53 last week, yeah.
53, congratulations. 53 last week. Well, I'm 66 now, so I've got 13 years on you. Who knows where your football career might go in the next 13 years?
No, you know
what I mean?
I'm a little bit like Kit, though. I'm happy in where I am in my life. Obviously, that I still have problems like everybody else. Like I still get bills turn up, but before I'd deal with it in a different way. I would bury my head in the sand and pick up a bottle.
You might get 5 promotions on the run,
maybe, but I'm not chasing. I don't. Money, as long as I've got enough money to get by and live, I don't aspire to go up the leagues to be well known and earn big money. That's not my driver now. I want to be happy, like Kit said. What I'm doing, I'm really happy.
Well, ultimately, I think that's the goal, isn't it? I mean, you know, if you, you know, we've all got kids. What do we actually all want for our kids? One thing, really. We want them to have happy lives, don't we?
Happy and healthy, that's it, isn't it?
You know, it's like, you know, it's like a no-brainer. That's what we all want, but and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have loads of money or this, that, and the other.
And I see it in you. The recovery, what it's given me is like, as alcoholic, addict, whatever way you want to dress it up or say it, you become so selfish. Like you lie about everything. You're selfish. You're self-centered. I think going into rehab and obviously coming out, I want to try and help people, and I see that in you. You obviously help a lot of people.
Yeah, I try my best.
You've obviously reached out to me and we've spoke. I think that's something that I want to do as well. I do little bits and pieces before that. I said to you before, I do a thing called Sporting Memories, and I love it. It's the highlight of my week. Yeah. And it was obviously it's an idea that's been about a while, but I introduced it to a place I used to work. I don't work there no more, but I travel an hour and 15 minutes to go and meet the lads. So it's aimed at people with dementia or early onset dementia and loneliness because people are lonely as well. And I actually love it. They're like my mates. Like they're all older gentlemen. Most are older than me, but I try to create an environment from where they can talk. So I've laid out, like I've never told anyone about my troubles. I've kept it in. I've told them everything. Yeah. I've gone in and said, look, this is me. Yes, I used to play football. Yes, I played in the Premier League, but this is me. This is real life. This has happened to me. I've been living in my car for 2 weeks. I've had nothing. I've been on my arse wanting to kill myself. And by showing that vulnerable side, they can share stuff because they've all been through different stuff. And it's an amazing story. One of the gentlemen has got terminal cancer, and he shared it in the group because he felt safe to share it because that's what the group's like. They're like mates. And off the back of it, all the other lads had prostate checks, and one also had cancer, but it was caught early enough. So it's helped him just by sharing and talking and experiences, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I love that. I love it. I was over with him yesterday. And again, it's that feeling part of something.
Definitely. I still do.
And giving back.
What about kids coming out of clubs and stuff? You know, the ones that, the vast majority that don't make it. What, do you feel there's enough on offer from football world?
No, it's starting to get talked about more now. Palace have set something up, didn't they? I think I spoke to you about that.
Yeah.
Where they'll look out for the kids who are released out of their academy for like the next sort of 5-6 years or something, and try and help them either get other clubs and keep in touch, or then future careers and things like that. Because it's so, it's brutal, isn't it? Football's brutal at all levels. But for these young kids, maybe not getting a scholarship, and the best kid in their school, and they're playing at Chelsea or Arsenal, whatever club it might be, and the parents are all over it and telling everyone their little boy's going to be the next best thing, and just get binned.
Yeah.
You're like, and it's so hard to take,
because it's not just on ability. That's the problem. Like in my youth team, I was nowhere near the best player, but I was probably the only one that had a career. I think a lot of it, like I said, is circumstance, where you live. Do you have support in terms of getting training and being in the right place at the right time? We've all heard being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but being in the right place. Yeah. Like me moving to Swindon was the best thing I did. I walked away from West Ham, where it was a club I loved. I still had a contract there, but I knew for me to get an opportunity, I probably had to go to Swindon. And then Paul Bowden, obviously someone you played with, was a left back at the time, got injured. And I was the only other option at left back. Was I ready to play first team football? No, I wasn't. But I got frustrated. So I had that massive bit of luck as well. So these young kids, they've got so much ability. Don't get the rub of the green, not in the right place at the right time. Circumstances ain't right for them, and they just fall by the wayside. And then obviously a lot of them lose football, what they've loved for so long, and then sometimes go down the wrong pathway, unfortunately.
I remember being in the academy, and I'm not knocking anybody at Wolves, but I was there like for 5 seasons, and I worked quite a lot with the academy lads, and I got on really well with a lot of them. Bless them, they're great. I mean, hardly any of them actually made it. But I'd be in the office upstairs while they'd be discussing, and we're talking about in December here, and they've already made their mind up that Stevie or whoever isn't going to get signed, but they want to keep him till May because they want him to play. So they're not telling him that he's not getting a new contract. So I went in the academy office with the lad who was, I don't want to mention any names because I don't want to look like I'm criticising anybody, with the 2 guys who ran the academy, and said, could you not change this round a little bit and tell them that at this minute in time, we do not see that you have a future here.
But this is what you got to do.
However, if you blow our socks away, or whatever the right wording would be, you might turn it round. But at this minute, count it that you're not going to be involved here. But there is a possibility that you might be able to change our minds. I think that would be so much fairer. They refused to do that. They went, oh, no way, you'll stop trying.
Lots of academy teams, like the philosophies, you get your 2 or 3 sort of star players within that group, and the rest are almost teams out are almost making up numbers.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't do that, certainly when I was the 18s at Fulham and working in the academy at Fulham. I'm like, because things change so much with like young kids as well, so I'm like, everyone's going to get an equal chance.
Yeah.
And also for the star player to be treated like a star player, you're not doing them any favours, because sooner or later they're going to go in the first team. Now, unless they're a Wayne Rooney who physically can cope and is like incredible, they're going to be the weakest and the worst in that first team group.
I saw players get treated differently in the academy at Wolves.
It's not fair on them. It
starts much younger. I know we're talking about academy players, 18s, and it starts much younger. I remember working at a professional club. I was 18s manager, but they were having meetings, like all the coaches were having meetings about players from under 7s up, about releasing and all that. And I was sat there and I was biting my lip. They're talking about 7-year-old, 8-year-old boys, and they all they were speaking about is what they couldn't do. Like, and I stood up and said, like, hang on a minute, talk about what they can do. Like, they're 7 years old. Like, how can you predict whether they're good enough or not yet? If they've got something good enough to be in the academy now, run with them. Give them opportunity to grow and get better at the things that you keep saying they can't do at 7 years old. It's bizarre. It's ruthless. And you've got to be of a certain mindset. I'll go back to Kit's situation where he's saying that he had a real tough time at City, and it was a tough time, but he had the capability of dealing with it. So that says a lot about Kit, to bounce back and go to Fulham and then be part of something successful. Not everyone's got that mindset to deal with that. That can kill people off. And at a young age, it's even more brutal.
I've got a friend out at Villarreal, so I go out there a little bit. And I've done a few study visits when I was at Fulham and the academy, and it's brilliant. Now, some of it's climate because it's obviously much nicer weather in England, but it's it's like 40,000 people at Villarreal. But the youth setup is incredible. They've got basically, like, I don't know, 20 or maybe 10 under 10 teams, and they all move up and down and physicality. So if you're a big under 10, they'll put you, maybe you might go up and play the under 11s even. Or if you're small, they'll move you down. And so it's for development. Things are done for the right reasons, for the psychological development and the physical development and the all-round player.
Rather than results, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Playing devil's advocate, I'm not sure where I sit. I'll probably edge one way, but where do you sit? Like, so you've got an academy system where you can go into a professional club at 7, go all the way through and through the 18s and all that. Or at a young age, do you play football with your mates where you're enjoying it to a certain age and then play men's football at the youngest age possible? So my example is I've had lads, I've been in non-league that have been released from pro clubs at 14 and then come into non-league and then bounce back and then go to a pro club again. And in the same breath, I've had players that have done really well at pro clubs, been given contracts, star players, not really broke through, come to non-league clubs and can't deal with it.
Yeah.
So being exposed to that men's football, is that better than going through the academy system? It might be. It might be, because I have a number of professional clubs contacting me to take players on loan. So maybe a mixture of both is the answer. But
I always thought that So the Premier League, I remember when I was at Fulham in the academy, having meetings with Jed Roddy, was heading up the youth department of the Premier League then. And I would have sort of like disagreements with him because I big believer in the loan system. I think get these young academy players out quite early, play men's football, because a lot of them can't cope with it. But it's a tough lesson for them, but it's a good lesson to learn suddenly, because you think that I'm a Premier League academy, I'm going to waltz in at non-league level and be the best player by a million miles. Well, probably ability-wise, you might have the best ability by a long, but it's not all about just ability. It's putting it into action on a match day, and
results matter.
Results do matter at that level, and suddenly you're playing with. If your captain's not happy with you at half time because you've not tracked a runner, he's going to let you know all about it, and that's a massive learning curve.
Yeah. Johnny, my mate, who was one of the players at Wolves, Johnny Gorman, he had an unusual story because
he was a talented lad, wasn't he? I had him in the 21s at Northern Ireland.
Right, that's right. Yeah,
so he was like the talent at the time.
Yeah, no. I said you were coming on. He sends his regards, by the way. Yeah. So Johnny had the talent, and listen, I don't know. I'm interested to know your opinions on this. His dad, with all the best intentions in the world, Wolves signed him from United. But his dad's come in and basically said, you've got to do school half the week and the academy half the week. I'm not going to pass a judgment on whether that was a good or bad decision. So he was only training with the academy for half the week. He was at school the other half the week. So he got like that special consideration, which you're saying maybe some of the others didn't. We had another lad called Zelly Ishmael, who was touted to be the first ever £100 million footballer. And he did okay. He went playing at, what's that club where Nigel Clough was manager? Burton Albion. Yeah. He played for them for a bit. But he didn't become the first £100 million. But they used to bus him in on a taxi every day, and they got a bit of the star treatment more than the other lads did. And Johnny got a few caps for Northern Ireland, didn't he, when he was 17? And I don't think that was great for him either. You know,
being thrown in there so early.
He hadn't even played for Wolves. You know, but Mick always said he wouldn't make it. Mick said he's languid, he won't make it. He's talented, but he's not got the. You know, how do you give that to a player? How do you give the
Yeah, that's got to be in you, I think, isn't it? That resilience. But in hindsight, he's doing quite well now, isn't he?
He's a psychologist.
So that education, I say to players,
maybe
you can. I mean, you can have a good career, but if you throw all your eggs, I was lucky. I was okay at school, but I dismissed it, and I was one of the lucky ones. I've known loads of players that done the same, where they dismissed their education and doesn't work out. What do you do then? If you can get a balance, but I say to players now, your schoolwork's really important. Even in the academies that I've worked in at non-league, if they don't do their schoolwork in terms of their assignments, then I don't let them train.
Yeah.
So it's getting that, and it's mad because as a kid I would have been like, God, it's football. It's about. I understand. I'm mature enough to know now that to become an elite footballer is really, really tough. You can still earn a really good living part-time footballer. Do your education as well. Give yourself something else to do, because I had nothing to do. But when I finished football, I didn't know what I was going to do.
I'd have a different angle on that, mate. I think no disrespect to his dad, I'd have said,
phone everything.
Go and give it your best shot. You can always go back to your education after. That would have been my angle. And then, because now, unfortunately, I'll never know, will he? Did that hinder him? He only trained half the week. He wasn't in for the other days. I don't know. He's done a study on. I think I sent it actually. I didn't send it you, Kev. Obviously, we weren't in touch just then, but about kids being released.
I spoke about it.
Did I not send it? I'll send it. He did a full paper at university about it. It's really quite interesting. I think, and he'll probably get a job. Weirdly enough, he'll probably get a job in football, maybe, because if a football club, he's going to be a doctor next year or the year after, be Dr. Gorman, Doctor of Psychology. So
I mean, you're saying about Wolves, though. I mean, I don't think there's many other clubs that will get someone in.
I don't
to
think there's anybody.
The role you were doing there to talk to the young players, or any players. But
we had a Gamblers Anonymous meeting every Thursday under the stairs. I mean, Mick was fantastic. He let me have a go with all this stuff. I remember my first day there. I went into his office because he'd got me to go down helping a couple of lads who had gambling problems. And then, do you want to come and do a couple of days a week? And cheers, mate, I'll get a go. My first day I walked into his office. I went, so what should they? They were all having the brekkie before training. I said, so what should I do now then, Mick? He went, I don't fucking know.
Undo your thing.
They're in there, he said. Oh, mate. And I remember walking in thinking, I was feeling I'd had 4 years of recovery now. I'm like, maybe 5 years, about 4. It was quite daunting. Walking in, all the first team lads, can you imagine? I think I knew fullback for Sunderland, played for Sunderland for a bit. Played for England a few times. Mickey Gray, yeah, he gave me dog's abuse. He knew we knew of each other from round the town, But it was quite tough. But it was a good gig. And within a few years, when Jeff came, Thursday afternoon under the stairs, and we did it like a Gamblers Anonymous meeting. I'd start off. My name's Mike. I'm a compulsive gambler. This week I haven't gambled, and then go round the room, because a few of the lads, they didn't want to go to Gamblers Anonymous because they didn't want to get recognised, which I understand. Yeah. I get that. I understand that, But I think...
Well, that's in the anonymous bit, isn't it?
Well, it is. And that, of course, people are not meant... And I've not known many instances of people bubbling too much, but people do talk, let's cut the shit. I think that for me, and I don't know whether you maybe agree with me, Kev, that if you're honest and open about it, which you have been today, then you're not too worried about being seen at a meeting, are you?
Do you know what?
Because you've already spewed it.
I actually don't care now.
Yeah, exactly.
When I first come out of rehab, I was like, oh God, rehab. When I come out, I told people I'd been in rehab.
Yeah,
it's what happened.
It's the best way.
That's my truth. That's my story.
You'd be amazed how many people keep it a secret.
And I want to use it as strength to help others. Like I'm in a really good place now. I'm happy. I still have issues, of course, but I can deal with it in the right way. And for me, I see that as a strength, not a negative.
Oh, definitely.
It was a dark place I went to.
Yeah, definitely.
But that helped me so much. And if my story, by being honest and not lying and say it didn't happen. If my story, my honest story, can help one person, then I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think you can beat if you're. I mean, I employ people in my business. I'd actually love a load of people with really solid recovery because we don't tell lies. You know that well. We're not meant to, and most people stay honest. You won't get people phoning in pissed up in the mornings with hangovers. You know, honest, I think it's a great asset. You know, so who knows? I think your career might go. You might not want it particularly to go like that, but it might well do that. You know,
I don't know. I just live my life
one day
properly, one day at a time, and do the right thing. I love doing things like this. Like it's opened up other avenues, and I'm loving life at Malden and Tiptree. Right. And like I said, like it's funny. People always say, "Oh, what you can do next?" No, I'm loving it. I don't want to leave this job. I've always been a fairly loyal person in football anyway. Like Man City fans used to always say to me, "Oh, thanks for staying." What? When we got relegated at Stoke, thanks for staying. It never crossed my mind to leave. Yeah. I was part of the issue. Yeah. So it's like everything I do now. Like I'm not looking for the next thing. I'm if I enjoy it, I carry on doing it, and I will until I'm told different. Yeah. And if I can help people along the way, like you do, then that's good as well.
Well, you will, won't you? It's just part of the gig, isn't it? You know, it's part of the gig. So through your tough times, Kev, what would you say is the closest you've ever been to actually maybe ending it?
I had a couple. One that I've never really spoke about before, but I was done. And I remember my daughter was down staying with the grandchildren. I don't know what I was going to do, but I got dressed. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I remember getting up and I was going out. I don't know, like off the top of my head, I knew there was I feel terrible saying it actually. I knew there was a train track near, and I don't know. I got dressed and I put my shoes on, and I sneaked out my bedroom, and my granddaughter woke up, and she come running along the corridor, and I sort of picked her up and went and give her to my daughter who was in bed and sat on the bed and was just talking. Nothing about that. It's just something that sort of took me off of what I was thinking. So that was one moment. I don't know what the outcome would have been.
Maybe that was higher power as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's dark. And then the other time was when I knew I was struggling. Financially, I was in a real hole. I was in a rented house that I had to be out of. I was there with my lad, who was 16 at the time. And I've got so much remorse and guilt that I've let people down. And I remember sitting in this room, we was in the living room on airbeds. Didn't have much money left, but the money I had, I tried to gamble to win more. I wanted him to stay with me. And I lost everything, and I just drank and drugs. And I remember kissing him on the head. I think I sent a message to my kids apologising for everything. I don't know whether people will tell me different. I don't know whether I had intention of ending it then. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing, really. And I sort of kissed him on the head, and he sort of woke up and said, "Look, I'm really sorry. I can't look after you. Your mum's going to have to come and get you." And I left the house. I was drinking. I was walking. I just walked to a car park that was quite close to my house, and I was walking, drinking beer, and my phone was ringing. I didn't really know what was going on. Police were calling me, and I was telling them to F off, and I was in a bad way. They then sent a helicopter up looking for me. Didn't find me, like, to be fair. I was ducking and diving in bushes, and then I don't know, people were ringing me. It was just the weirdest. That's the crazy thing. I normalised it. Like, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I didn't understand. My mind was gone. I don't know. And then the police, I was hanging up. I was paranoid that they was going to find my location. Eventually I said, look, I rang them up and said, look, I'm done. I'll come back. The helicopter left. They got me in the car, spoke to me. And then when I got out of the police car, there was my new partner was there, my sister, my brother, my assistant manager, a player that played for me, his dad. I thought everyone was meeting me to go for a beer. Like I made a joke of it, said, come on, we're going in the cricketers for a beer. Yeah. I just didn't see any way out of the situation I was in. I didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. I was secluded. I weren't speaking to anybody. I didn't want to share how I was feeling. And it was like self-harming in a way.
Yeah.
Drinking to extreme, trying to like just get out of how I was feeling, how my life was, which then led on to obviously the way I was behaving wasn't good. I've hurt a lot of people. And then Jeff rang me, and like I said, I went into rehab, and I see things different now.
Yeah.
I do see light at the end of the tunnel. I do see a future now. It's going to be a long road. Don't get me wrong. Financially, I'm still miles off where I need to be in terms of just to live a comfortable life. And
you're looking amazingly well.
I feel good. I've got obviously a new girlfriend that I actually adore. She's unbelievable. Her family have been incredible. Like it's not straightforward, is it? When the daughter who's obviously considerably younger than me, more mature than me, people are always going to question Mark, going, "Oh, she's only with him because of his mum." I've got fuck all, by the way. She's not with me because of that, and I honestly believe she's with me because of me, because of how I am. So, a family have been amazing. Her parents are only 5 years older than me, and to add insult to injury, her dad's a Man United fan. So, how can I repay him? He's stuck by me in difficult circumstances. I live with them at the moment. That's where I'm at. Unfortunately, as embarrassing as it is, that's where I am in my life at the minute. I can't do much more at the moment. But they've said that's my home, and for them to be like that makes me quite emotional, if I'm honest. Because, so I mean, she probably could have done a lot better, but. I don't know.
Kev, you're a beautiful man.
I don't know how I repay them really, and all I can do is treat their little girl, because do you know what I mean? A daughter's always your little girl. That's his little girl. I treat her the right way and do everything right for hopefully us to have a better life.
Beautiful, mate. Best of luck with that. And you've got the lovely Isabella, haven't you, Kit?
I have, yeah.
And how's the Polish side of
my
that?
Polish is not coming on so good. Still not speaking it, but it's quite good. Her and Maya go on in Polish, and I can just switch off and have a bit of peace at home. But it's great. Yeah, I mean she's brilliant. She's really good for me. And
she's lovely. I've met her a couple of times, but she's really nice. Whereabouts in Poland were they from? Do you know?
Poznan.
Whereabouts is that?
Yeah, sort of like central.
Yeah.
That's what the City fans do, the Poznan, isn't it?
Do the Poznan, yeah.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where they?
Yeah.
Oh, is that where it originated from?
Yeah.
Oh, how
I took my
cool.
lad back to a game. I think it was when they won the league. I can't, a few years back, and I was doing the Poznan. Yeah, it was a bit embarrassing because obviously a few of the fans were noticing it was me, and I'm there doing the Poznan with my lad, which again,
I loved it.
Yeah, for me it was a great moment, like being with my lad. He loves City, my lad. And we actually ended up, I shouldn't say this, I might get in trouble. We actually ended up, because it was a pitch invasion, I ended up on the pitch at the Etihad. I never got to play on the Etihad, and I end up on the pitch, and they're obviously saying everyone off the pitch, and so I just me and my lad got a picture on the pitch at the Etihad, and then quickly got back in the stand, But they're fond memories, like obviously, spending that time with my lad after he's had a tough couple of years with me, obviously. Yeah. So moments like that are special.
Yeah, brilliant.
Poznan, I never knew where it originated from.
I didn't know that either. I knew it was called that. I never get it because you can't watch the match.
No, yeah.
It's a bit bad.
It's all about
It's a bit mad, isn't it? And you know that City chant? What's the famous City chant? We're not really here.
Yeah.
Invisible Man.
Invisible Man,
Yeah, come on, give me your angle on it, lads. Where's it from?
Well, wasn't that Prestwich you might feel, wasn't it? Tom Price started that off, wasn't it?
Well,
I think.
I heard her. Was it we're not really here because we were playing at such low level? Was that like we're not really at
It's probably got a load of different meanings, I suppose.
Yeah,
maybe a bit of that.
Was it like we're at Macclesfield and Grimsby and like we're not really here? We should be at Old Trafford and Anfield. Is that
Just like the Invisible Man?
Wasn't that from Prestwich Martfield who started it?
Was it Don Price and his mob anyway?
I think so, yeah.
Don, if you're out there, will you just give us a like on the Woody Unscripted YouTube and let us know where it came from, Don?
I think he dead Don, isn't he, I think?
Oh, is he?
You've just asked him to get in touch and let you know.
If he
Fucking higher.
does, if he does, yeah.
Well, if he does, that is fucking higher power. Fucking hell.
Okay, guys. Well, listen, really appreciate you coming on today. Before, as we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to say to the audience? Any pearls of wisdom before we go?
I think for me, just listening to Kev, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, you might not sort of see it. Obviously, everyone has struggles, but there is one there for 100%. So just, talk to someone, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think young people, follow your dream, shoot for the stars. If I've become a professional footballer and played in the Premier League, anybody can achieve what you want to achieve. So keep working hard for what you want, and like Kit said then, do you know what I mean? Talk.
Yeah.
Not just young people, adults. Talk, tell people. And I know it's difficult at times being a man, you don't want to share and you don't want to look weak, but it 100% helps.
Yeah, especially if you got someone that you trust and that you love, share your stuff. I just reiterate that. At the end, anybody who might be struggling with any alcohol or drug issues, we've got some helpline numbers. So please phone, please speak to people. Again, thanks, guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Really enjoyed it. And we'll see you soon.